Alright guys, today the plan is to avoid burning myself and or electrocuting myself. But first, I need to make a store run. Catch you after the break. Alright everyone, we are back from shopping and we'll go through, had to go buy some electrical tape and some soldering wire, mostly because I didn't prepare well at all for today. That will become apparent shortly as we go along through the rest of this crap. Here's what we're working with today. So plan is for today to get the headlights in, get the front fenders on, the front right fender on, and hopefully even fix our bent hood hinge here. So we kind of talked about that. So planning has been bad so far, but this is kind of what we're going to work with. We're going to have to go adapt our HIDs. I've already done one little thing to make sure I didn't need to go buy even more pieces. I'll show you guys that here when I give you a walk around, because I noticed I forgot to show you guys some of the funniest stuff that's wrong with this thing. So here we go. I've already done a little bit of work so far. So the headlights that come with the car have a high beam that's a 9005 or 9006, and so that'll have a female connection, actually like one of these over here. So we have one of these, it'll have a female connection like this, right? And you see those little grooves right there? So that's how the headlight goes into the socket. These are your universal sockets, right? If I can get, there's the light. So these don't have a groove, but if you look at our headlights up here, like this one, you see that that one has one little way right there. Yeah, so things with two grooves, like this one, won't fit in there, and I kind of want them to. So what I did is I took our headlight beams here, or high beams, and I filed off the center groove so that these 9005s, I think, will fit the 9000. These 9006 high beams will fit the 9005 sockets on our high beams for our new headlights. So I did some of that earlier today. Kind of boring, not a whole lot to see, so I didn't want to show you guys. And then what we're going to do today is we're going to go take this connection, which is a xenon connection from the factory, chop it off, put one of our universal connectors on there, and then wire that in for our regular headlight. And then we're going to splice into the parking light this white and purple wire right here. The center wire is a white and purple. We're going to splice into that for our halos and LED accent lights for our headlight. So we're gonna have to go do that. And when I was originally planning this job, I didn't buy enough connectors of each type, so I've had to cut apart connectors, and we're gonna jerry rig it together, and I think it'll work. But what I realized happened before, I hadn't shown you guys yet, is the weirdest thing I found that was off about this car. And that is right down here. So I'm gonna get my trusty phone flashlight out here so you guys can maybe see. If you look down there, that looks like a socket sticking out from a pulley, from one of our belt pulleys. And that's correct. I have no idea why that's there. It looks like it's welded onto a piece of iron or something like that. You can kind of see however you can weld. I'm not sure if that was because they were having a hard time removing it or installing it or what. But that was one of the funnier things that's wrong with this thing that I figured out that I forgot to show you guys last time. And the last thing, I want to correct something I said last time, because looking back through the footage, I realized it could be a little misconstrued, and I don't want to give out bad information. So looking at these turn signals, I said you replace turn signals by pulling the bulb out right here. And that is correct, you do replace them. However, you can still pull apart the harness. You see this little piece here. You can pull apart the harness and pull it apart if something in the middle here is broken. I realized I said things that seemed like they might be a little bit misleading last time around. So, that's where we're at right now. You can see I had zip tied some stuff together at the end of the day last time. Didn't really bother showing you guys that. So I'm gonna go start making some of these electrical connections, and then hopefully by then the rest of the tools I need to go fix the rest of this thing will show up, and we'll be able to finish this thing up and get it ready for inspection, so that I can actually drive it on the road, because that would be sweet. All right, guys. Talk to you in a bit. All right, and we're back. So I've done the wiring here on a couple of our accessory bits. So this headlight set specifically, I'll flip one of these over here without hopefully breaking anything. Ugh. So that's the wrong way, there we go. So this headlight specifically comes with LED halos here and here, and 3 LED running lights there. So the manufacturer has you like soldering everything together and then splicing it into the parking lights. So I'm gonna have to go splice into that and at the turn signal light. But before that, I figured to make this thing easier to pull in and out, because I don't expect to necessarily keep these headlights for super long. It's a ton of glare off that thing. I'll figure out the lighting later. I don't expect to keep these headlights forever. I expect I'll be upgrading them. So to make it easier to pull these things out and re-upgrade them, I've taken everything here and spliced it onto a splitter. So this was I showed you guys I was cutting it apart. This was the 1:2 male to 2 female connections here for the 9005, 9006 connection style. So I cut off the female connections, left the male one here with the 2 lines running from it, and then I ran and connected the grounds for the halos here, these little halos, LED halos, and for these, oh this is hard through the camera, and for the for those LED accent lights here. This line is also already split down here. You go in, you see where they heat shrunk 3 into 1 there, and that one one's almost assuredly soldered, as opposed to what we've done here, which are crimp and heat shrink connections. You'll notice I did 2 into 1 here. These connections are for like 18 and 20 gauge. Let's see if we can get this focus here. These connections are for 18 and 20 gauge wire. This wire is 20 gauge, and these wires seemed a little bit smaller, so I felt safe in putting them together. If that doesn't work, if we have a bad connection or something, I left a ton of room on either side, so we can crimp it off, and then I can go solder these things together for a more permanent style connection. And then we've got some heat shrink tubing over here you saw me experimenting with, and some soldering, several soldering irons, in fact, because I like things too much. So these ones should all go in, and what I'm gonna have to do then is put a female connector like this one, and take this and splice these wires into the parking light, splice these two wires into the parking light signal wire. So that's on the turn signals, and we'll have to do that. I'm uncertain if I want to solder that or do something similar to what I've done here, and then we'll see what I'm feeling when I'm looking at that wire. See if I can get it to split nice and evenly. We'll give ourselves plenty of space, so if I screw up, I am not totally boned. So yeah, next item of business is to go over here, and we'll get out of that light and see if this looks any better. Go over here, we'll actually get into these wires here, and get this and this one swapped over to the appropriate connections. Here we go, get the headlight swapped over to the appropriate connection, be able to test that out, make sure that is working well. And then we'll work on our accent lights. And that should be it for headlights. Okay, YouTube, we have fixed the lights, mostly-ish. So we're gonna go in here. We got them all in, they're installed. We have all the splicing done. I managed to do the splicing without soldering anything by jury-rigging some things together. I would not necessarily suggest this as the correct installment technique. The correct technique is always to solder things together, but I am at once lazy and terrible at soldering, so I decided to jury-rig the connection itself. That was the splice for the halos, which you saw me kind of testing out. So I went up a size for the wiring and just clamped really hard down, and it seemed to work. All the lights seem to respond except for the LED accents down here. You can see those ones are not currently turning on, but in the same socket, the left-hand driver's side headlights LED accents do turn on. So this, I think, is a problem with the LEDs, and maybe it's a problem with the wiring. I'll pull that apart later. The car side wiring is good, so we're just going to leave it for now and continue on with other things, because these things are functional, if not perfect, right now. So next thing, we're probably going to try and get these hood hinges fixed. So just this one should need to be fixed. You can see it kind of takes a sharp turn. That's why we're not getting this hood to close properly. The other one, you can see, if we kind of zoom in a little bit, maybe we can do it without screwing up the camera. There we are. You can see it kind of follows the hood much more cleanly. That's what we expect. So we're gonna go replace this one and get this thing lining up again and try to do that without hitting myself on the head too hard. So that's where we're gonna go next. Enjoy. That was a long day, but we managed to make some pretty good progress. And here's the car. So, you can see we've mostly fixed the hood. Oh God, let's get this straightened up here. We have mostly fixed the hood. We got a little bit of panel alignment to deal with, but I'm not gonna worry about that now because I'm pretty sure we're gonna have to deal with changing the bumper eventually because I hate both the bumper and the grille for the final project, which I'll discuss hopefully in the next episode or two once we get this thing titled. Our right front fender went on pretty good. The alignment's pretty good for just bolting it on. We got a little bit of panel alignment here. Let's see if we can get it in. A little bit of misalignment we're gonna have to work out. And then we're gonna have to work on the hood there. But overall, I am super excited with how things have gone together. We've kept the regular bumper for now. You can see some of the drift spec repairs. I had to remember all of my pro, and by remember I mean make up a bunch of pro repairs there to keep the bumper in line. We're gonna have to replace that anyway because I hate this bumper. But moving on through. So next on the list is some tires and get this thing inspected. So hopefully that'll be the next episode for you guys. And yeah, that's it for today. It's been a long day. I have to go eat and do other things and get ready for a ride tomorrow. I'm gonna go out in the dirt with someone new here. So if you like what we're doing here, please like and subscribe. And in the background of some of these shots, you've seen one of my next couple projects. I'd be interested to see if you guys which car that might be, or which vehicle I should say, because there's no guarantee it's just a car. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Picked up some solder. Need to go pick up some electrical tape. And another light and some extra batteries, and I think we'll be good. Quick trip, maybe, if I can find anything in here.